Hello, what's up everybody? Back once again. Oh, is it on normal there? There we go, faster. Got a PvT replay from Fireball here. Said he's just been getting steamrolled by Terran MMM and siege tanks, although I don't think in this replay we get siege tanks if I remember right, because I've watched it already. But yeah, he asked for some help, and it seems like all the other used to be big helpers on the Protoss forums have kind of not done anything for anybody recently. I kind of feel like I'm the only one that's been really providing anything for anybody that's been asking for it. I don't know what the hell's up with it. It's kind of ridiculous if you ask me, but come on guys, throw some help out there if you can. So instantly we're going to start off on a super heavy favored map. The reason I think this map is super favored is because, okay, you both can easily get your expansion here. Yeah, it has the rocks, whatever, but it's so hard to secure a third. Like, it's damn near impossible to get either one of these, and it's so easy for Terran just to put up a planetary fortress right here and kind of control the whole map from this center one. So, and it's a lot harder for a Zerg or Protoss to really secure a third expansion. So, first thing we see is the probe going to scout, but then just running back after really seeing nothing because he's being followed by this SCV here. Not only are you not getting any scouting information, you just led the enemy to your base. You just basically gave him a scout. Even if he wasn't going to scout, now he's not only denying your scout, but he's getting a scout also. You know, yes, it takes a lot of APM. Yes, you have to be a little bit better to control that and keep that SCV alive for scouting the whole time, but you got to do it. You know, you can't be in the dark the whole game. So we see gateway going up. All right, we see your second pylon going down. Good. Let's bring up the production tab here to see what we have going on. So like I said, you have no scout right now, which is pretty awful. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. It's really not a good situation to be in. If I'm ever in the dark, I instantly feel like I'm losing the game at that point. You see your cyber core going down. Probably a little bit later than you. As soon as this gateway's done, you want to be putting that down. Against Terran, you should usually skip that first zealot. Yeah, that's right. I said it right for anybody that has watched any more than one of my videos, which is like nobody. But yeah, I said it right. Oh. You can skip that for a zealot and put the cybernetics core out. Make sure you have 100 gas, and then chrono boost out a stalker to deny any kind of scouting which they might have. But obviously he is not scouting you, so not really needed. But you should usually want to skip that first zealot. Yep. Anyway, so chrono boosting out the warp gate, always a good thing. I don't know if anybody else has been watching this, but there hasn't been constant pro production. Definitely a major issue. I'm sorry if I didn't say this, but I definitely think this is a silver or bronze game, so it's definitely going to be aimed at, you know, kind of silver bronze players, the advice I'm going to give. So anyway, continuing onward. See, right now this guy's getting all the scouting information. He sees the robo base, sees the two gateways. If you had a stalker, you would have been able to stop all that scouting right there. So we instantly see your mineral and gas climbing pretty high, especially for early game. You know, go ahead, queue up. If you have hard time keeping up your probe production, you know, if your APM isn't high enough, feel free to queue up 2 or 3 probes if you need to. You know, it's way better to do that than to just kind of fail on producing them. Should be producing something here. I'd say you have enough time if you chrono boost. You didn't need that chrono boost there. If you would have put something up, queued it here, chrono boosted it, you could have got it out, you know, by the time about warp gate finish. Maybe a little bit late, but observer coming out first. You can usually go either way with this kind of small force at this. If you're gonna be facing a Terran that's gonna do some early aggression at this time in the game, you're definitely gonna see something hitting you. So if you pumped out more gateway units, then I'd say Observer first, but with the force that you had, I definitely would have suggested pumping out the Immortal first, chrono boosting it up. So Forge, little unusual because those upgrades, those early upgrades really aren't super critical against Terran. I mean, good because most people will just not get upgrades at all, but maybe a little bit early for that. I'm a little premature there. So you're getting your scouting information. Let's go ahead and let me see exactly what you've seen here. Oh, nope, never mind. Not quite in yet. Oh, well, that's why. You don't want to... There you go. Hey, don't have to tell you what's up. So go... Yes, definitely. Go deeper in, see exactly what's coming up. So at this point, you have seen the barracks, the starport, the factory, and a decent amount of bio army, so you can pretty much keep it safe, assuming that he's pretty much going to go a big bio force here. I mean, yes, he has a factory, yes, he has a starport, but you're probably not going to see Banshees coming out if he has this much of a ground army already. So back at your base, we see a lot of gas coming up. Not too many minerals, but you can support 2 gateways and a robotics facility if you're fully saturated. So let's look at yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest issues you have to work on is probe production. You should, at your level, you don't know when to stop making probes. You should constantly make them no matter what, pretty much until you're like off 2 base or 3 base. Then it's pretty safe to say you should have 60 to 70 probes in a game is the number you want to aim for. So obviously you're way low. You've stopped production there, so that's one of your main issues. That's why you can't support a 3rd gateway out of this right now, is because you don't have enough harvesters to do so. So big issue right there is keep up pro production. For against Terran, you don't want to get weapons upgrade first. You want to get armor upgrade, because as you can see, the Marines only do 6 damage. So if you cut that damage down to 5, then you're negating basically 1/6 of all the damage that they do, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, like a 6, but that's pretty major deal, especially if you can consider Zealots already have the 1 armor. So you're cutting 6 damage down to 4, which makes them 33% less effective, which a third, that's a pretty big deal. So for every 3 of these Marines, you can basically count out 1. So with your army here, we're seeing a lot of Immortals, which is definitely good against these bio armies. Marauder heavy armies, you want a ton of Immortals. Marine armies, not so much. Definitely one of the biggest issues right here is the number of Zealots that you have. You only have 2 Stalkers. Zealots, good against ranged units in an open field with charge, and if you have good force fields, which I'm going to go ahead and assume that you don't, because you only have 1 sentry on the field. So basically everything's just going to shoot at them while they're running up to it. You got to have, they're good for, if you can get them in there, they're great damage units. But usually against bio armies, if you don't have charge, they're basically there just to soak up bullets. So, and you have a lot of soakers, but you don't have a lot of damage dealers. I'd definitely cut at least 4 or 5 Zealots for Stalkers in this army. Once again, I'm not sure what this cannon was for. Maybe you're worried about Banshees or something, but kind of useless cannon just sitting there. Like I said, you could definitely put down another gateway. You can do 3 gateways on 1 robo off of 1 base. I would suggest expanding a lot sooner as well. Just especially on this map, because it's really open, really safe, really easy to do. Just make sure you put a pylon or something back here so you know if those back rocks are coming out. You should definitely expand sooner. Another thing, this is probably where you're going to meet your demise. Alright, you're going on the offensive, okay. Usually against Terran, it's a lot easier to sit back and let them come to you, so they're not in kind of the pristine, perfect position. You're kind of making them funnel up this ramp, or wherever it may be. If it's in an open field, your Zealots have a much better chance of doing damage and whatnot. So what's going to happen, I mean, I've watched this, but when I first watched it, I already knew what was going to happen. These are all going to come up here, and they're just going to get funneled in, and they're just going to get destroyed by by the range units. They're just going to get outranged, which is going to leave you with 4 Immortals, which is pretty good, and 2 Stalkers. But against this many Marines, those Immortals aren't going to be as effective, and 1 Ghost with an EMP is going to take down those Immortal shields, which is just going to pretty much make them as worthless too. So we'll see. And then there's yep, you're going to charge up here. And yeah, there went the EMP. And you just see them getting melted away by the range and the EMP. And then with this many Marines, they're just going to chew through those Immortals. So you definitely, if you see a higher